Heather du Plessis-Allan Drive. Weekdays from 4 on Newstalk ZB.
Speculation in political circles. The PM is considering his future after a brutal poll. 28.4 worst results since the Judith Collins era. Chris?
G'day, Heather. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Are you considering standing down?
Absolutely not. The only thing I'm considering is the future of our kids and our grandkids, and that's why I came to politics. We've got a great country, we've got a hell of a lot to do, and that's what I'm fixated on.
Do you think you should consider standing down?
No.
Why not?
Well, look, I mean, we've got a lot of work to do, and I think, I've got skills that actually are very useful at this time when we're trying to navigate some challenging global environments. Our biggest challenge in this country is our economy, and I understand the economy well. I appreciate there's a lot of Kiwis still doing it tough and are challenged by that and are frustrated by that, as I am, but, we've got to follow the plan, and it's starting to work a little bit, and we want to see more of it happen over the course of the year.
What are your ministers telling you? Are any of them telling you to consider your future?
No, not at all.
Are any of them telling you that they back you?
All of them, yes.
Is there, if this is not a poll number, Chris, that's bad enough for you to consider your position, what is the poll number at which you do?
Well, can I just step you through the polls, right? Because, if you're in my position, I get asked every single week by a different journalist or a different media organisation that has its own polling, right? And there's often public polls that I'll have 2 public polls in a week that will be saying different things. And polling in 2026 is really important to get right because there's methodology issues, there are a new media environment, people don't have landline phones, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. The only polling I look at is the one that we do internally for ourselves, and that's stuff that we actually get processed overseas, actually, to be honest, because there's skills that we need to process the data.
When you say processed, do you mean it gets weighted overseas?
Well, what we do is we do our own internal polling. I think Nicola's spoken about this at the end of last year, is actually, and since I became the leader, I actually get that processed in the UK, and I have done ever since I've become the leader.
And what is that telling you? Where are you guys sitting?
Well, I don't talk about it, obviously, but I just would reassure you if there was a problem, I would be doing something about it. But we are a long way away from what we've seen published in a TPU poll today, and we know we've got work to do. We know this is all about the economy. It's all about actually people feeling it as it improves through the course of the year, and there's a lot more for us to do. But that's what I lead, and that's why Heather, you asked me lots of times, because it could be a Variant TV poll, it could be a Freshwater poll, it could be a TPU poll. Can be a Roy Morgan poll, and people ask me all the time, and I always say I don't comment on polls, and that's the reason I don't, is that I know the task at hand. I know what the issue that's concerning New Zealanders the most is the economy. That's what this election is going to be fought about. I don't believe going down the pathway with Labour doing more of their stuff is the way forward for this country. I think we have an awesome country, but we've got a lot of potential to realise in it, and that's what I'm waking up doing each and every day.
So is there a poll number at which you do start to consider your future?
It's not something I've thought about at all, and I haven't discussed it with anybody because it hasn't needed to be a conversation.
Okay, because what you're asking me to believe, though, Chris, is that all the polls out there that we are seeing public are wrong, and there's something special about your poll that makes it Ray 11.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if I spent all my time each and every week commenting on different polls that are presented and pitched to me as gospel, as Bible, as true, and debating that is a waste of my time. What New Zealanders expect me to be doing is cracking on with the job that I was elected to do. They get to determine a poll on November the 7th. They get to make that decision. We've got a long way to go until then.
I'll tell you what
I hear from them is the economy, right? That's what they want me to deliver for.
It is fair what you are saying, but there is also something else which is going on here, which is if you go to November the 7th with a number as low as this, you lose 12 of your MPs. You lose Nicola Willis, you lose Paul Goldsmith, you start cutting into the muscle of the National Party. They are not going to stand for it. Your ministers are not going to stand there on November 6th and say that that's all right. They're going to roll you, aren't they?
So Heather, I have the full support of my team and my caucus, right?
But Chris, that's what they always say to leaders before they roll leaders. Look, I'm not suggesting they're about to roll you, but all I am saying is you cannot take this to the election. You can't go to the election on a number like this, can you?
Well, I'd just say to you that's not what we're planning to do, and that's not what we are doing.
How are you going to lift it?
Well, what we've got to do is we've got to deliver for the economy, right? I mean, that is really what New Zealanders are telling us. This is the major, major issue here. If I look at my qualitative, research, we look at our quantitative research, what are the biggest concerns for New Zealanders? It's been cost of living and the economy by a long shot.
Okay, and the economy's on its knees, and the recovery was already going to be a grind for us this year without what's going on in Iran. Can you credibly tell me that this is going to help you out this election? Because I think it's not.
Well, I disagree. I think the economic recovery is underway. You've seen, positive quarterly growth last quarter. You've seen inflation in the band. You've got OCR down 9 cuts in 24 months. You've got the consumer confidence the highest it's been since 2021. You've got business confidence highest since 2014. You've got farmer confidence highest since 2016. You've even got manufacturing growth at the moment.
This is all pre-Iran stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, sure, Heather. But there's 195 countries in the world and 8 billion people, and they are all having to navigate the same scenario that we are. But New Zealand, relative to other countries in the world, despite the shocks, despite the dramas that are going on and the conflicts that are going on, is in better position than anybody else to navigate all of that. That is why we have been out and about, making sure we're diversifying, deepening the relationships internationally, opening up trading opportunities. Most of our focus is in the Indo-Pacific region where most of our business gets done. Yes, there's uncertainty around this event with Iran. And yes, there's risk around a whole bunch of things. But we are well prepared. We are well diversified. We've developed relationships to be able to deal with that. And I think our relative performance compared to any other country on earth, I'd sooner be leading New Zealand than any other place at this point in time. And I think we can do really well with it.
Chris, how are you going to improve your performance? Because your performance and the stuff that we saw on Monday, fumbling over answers, is what is also dragging the party vote down.
Yeah, look, but I mean, I think I've freely admitted I'm not a career politician. I'm not going to always have the perfect, most tidy soundbite like someone who's been there 20 years would do. And I will probably make mistakes and not get it perfect each and every time. But that's not what I'm there to do. I'm there to do is to communicate to the best of my ability, but most importantly to drive a team to improve economic outcomes, to create opportunity for New Zealanders. That's what I'm doing well. I mean, I think, just think about it, Heather, we're dealing with a really crappy situation we've inherited. We've got really volatile global conditions. We're navigating through the economic challenges we've got. I'm doing it with the coalition partners as a result, and we've got a team of ministers that I think are working really hard
finally,
to do that job.
You're doing an admirable job of making it sound like this doesn't matter, but the fact that you're on the show talking about it says this matters, right?
Well, it's just that I've been down in Masterton with Golden Shears yesterday. I've been out in my electorate in botany doing a series of events, and I've picked up as I've come back into finishing my events in botany that the whole world seems to have got very exercised about. I'm considering my future. The reason I'm coming on your show is to clarify to people, no, I'm not doing that. I'm considering very deeply the future for New Zealand, and nothing's changed for me. So I appreciate the media may have got carried away through the course of the day in reacting to another public poll, of which there are many, and I'm just trying to give some perspective to it and some balance to it.
Heather du Plessis-Allan Drive, weekdays from 4 on Newstalk ZB.